Hello, BookTube. Welcome back to the History Shelf. I am your host, Peg. Today, I just want to show you an assortment of things I picked up along the way, random odds and ends, pickups of books that I just, whether impulse buy or another booktuber mentioned them, and I was like, I gotta have it. So, even a few magazines here I thought I'd show you. Just an odd assortment, but I thought you might like to see what kind of things Peg just will pick up along the way. Let's start off with a much appreciated shout out to Vin at Revenant Reads, a fellow booktuber. He mentioned this book, and I've been meaning to read this because I love historical fiction, as you know, in addition to just history and, of course, my mysteries and thrillers. But anyway, historical fiction is my forte, and I've been meaning to read this. And he said that it was in this beautiful edition from this is a classic, and that I'm going to call it a classic. I remember seeing this growing up. I remember seeing the miniseries, but not really watching it because I was too young. Blackstone Publishing. He said that this book is in a beautiful edition, and I was looking for what type of edition to buy. I didn't want a huge mass market paperback of a book that's almost 1,300 pages. So I was like, Blackstone Publishing, let me see what their version of James Clavell's Shogun looks like, and look at this. I went and looked it up, and I got this for pretty much a song. I think it was like $15 or something. Look at this beautiful book, James Clavell's Shogun, the Asian Saga. It's in this beautiful black hardcover volume from Blackstone Publishing. Thank you, Vin, for mentioning them. I'm so happy to have this version. It's even got like a little, ribbon. Keep your place, your bookmark. Look at these beautiful end papers. Gives you the story of Shogun here. And I've always been meaning to read it. I am deeply interested in Asian history and trying to learn more about this period, the shoguns, the shogunate, and I'm very intrigued. So it's like it's well overdue that I read Shogun. So let me just read you a little synopsis here of Shogun. After Englishman John Blackthorne is lost at sea, he awakens in a place few Europeans know of and even fewer have seen, Nippon. Thrust into the closed society that is 17th century Japan, a land where the line between life and death is razor thin, Blackthorne must negotiate not only a foreign people with unknown customs and language, but also his own definitions of morality, truth, and freedom. As internal political strife and a clash of cultures lead to a seemingly inevitable conflict, Blackthorne's loyalty and strength of character are tested by both passion and loss, and he is torn between two worlds that will each be forever changed. Shakespearean in both scope and depth, Shogun is, as the New York Times put it, not only something you read, you live it. And if you're going to live it, baby, live it in this beautiful volume. You know what I'm saying? It is massive. It is. Look at that. I don't think 1,299 pages. The beautiful chapters have these beautiful Japanese characters on the sides. It's a beautiful book. Thank you, Vin. So I just picked it up. I said I want it. Oh, and then let's move over to something I get on a regular basis, which is because I'm a subscriber to the Library of America series. And as a subscriber member or whatever, I think they just call it subscriber, I get the case-bound, the slip-cased editions, because that's what I want. Most of the Library of America books, as you know, sold retail, have the very iconic black jacket, black and white photograph, and then the red, white, and blue stripe around the side. But I love the binding on these books, and they have like different colors, blue, crimson, green, and this one, which is like a beige. I should take a picture of, I have all of my Library of Americas now in one bookcase in the hallway and to the master bedroom, and I should take a picture of that and show you sometime. But I got the brand new, the books that I've subscribed to get. It comes like this. Comes in this beautiful slipcase. So all my editions are slid into the bookcase like so. But this is Plymouth Colony. So this is a new release from them. Slide it out of this case. So you got a beautiful, and I just think it's beautiful like this. I don't need the jacket with an illustration. I just love it. And you got your ribbon, your bookmark ribbon. Oh, they're so beautiful, and they smell delicious. I got to do it. Martine hates that. She goes, "You have a problem, maybe. It's a problem I don't want to fix." So what do we got with Plymouth Colony? This one includes the narratives of English settlement and native resistance from the Mayflower to King Philip's War. It says, for centuries, the story of the Pilgrims and the Mayflower has been told and retold. The landing at Plymouth Rock, the harrowing first winter, the providential first Thanksgiving, and the decades that followed as the colonists sought to build an enduring and righteous community in the New England wilderness. But the place where the Plymouth colonists settled was no wilderness. It was Patuxet, in the homelands of the Wampanoag people, a long-inhabited region of sustainable agriculture and food gathering, well-traveled trade routes, and deep cultural memories and traditions. Edited by two leading scholars of the period, Plymouth Colony invites us to view transatlantic colonization from the perspective of the Wampanoag coast, reframing a once familiar story for a new era. We've got here fascinating first-hand narratives by English settlers, a relation or journal, the classic account of the colony's first year, Edward Winslow's Good News from New England, a vivid narrative of the intricate diplomacy and brutal violence that marked Plymouth's early relations with native peoples, Of Plymouth Plantation by Governor William Bradford. Let's see here. New English Canaan, Thomas Morton's irreverent challenge to Puritanism. And The Sovereignty and Goodness of God by Mary Rowlandson. It was a landmark captivity narrative. So that's fascinating. And the editors are Lisa Brooks and Kelly Weiskup. So I'm glad to add this to my collection of my Library of America. I like to save these little inserts because they tell you a lot. So usually keep these in the slipcase, or at least I try to. Actually, I think I have all of these. I think I have all of these in one place. They're all grouped together. I should bind them together or something. So I've got a new Library of America. They come about every 8 weeks or so. I have it set up for every 8 weeks. So every 2 months, I get a new edition. Okay, then the next thing I picked up, I put this on pre-order on Amazon. It was like $15, and it's a Yale University Press title. I had heard about this title from a couple people that I trust, and that it's definitely a good read. It's dense, but it's good stuff. And you know what? It's going to be a challenging read as a Protestant. Again, I'm challenging myself lately with a lot of different Catholic titles and stuff. But this is a classic. It's a winner of many awards. And it's a brand new revised paperback edition. The Stripping of the Altars, Traditional Religion in England, 1400 to 1580 by Eamon Duffy. I have another book by Eamon Duffy, but it's not this one. And this is the one I really wanted to read before I read the other one. And this is a new edition. So I'm trying to see what makes this one. I'll try to read to you. It's a nice softcover edition. You can get it on Amazon for fairly cheap. I think I pre-ordered it was like $13 or $15. Might have been less. It says here, in this prize-winning account of the pre-Reformation Church, Eamon Duffy recreates lay people's experience of religion. He reveals that late medieval Catholicism was neither decadent nor decayed, but strong and vigorous. Brilliantly examining a wide array of sources, he shows that the Reformation was a violent rupture from a deeply popular and theologically respectable religious tradition. So, I'm already taking issue. Sorry. 30 years on from the original, this edition includes a substantial new preface, reflecting on recent developments in our understanding of the period. So that will be wonderful. In fact, we have a preface to the new edition, preface to the second edition, and an introduction. So all of this right here is just the preface. The prefaces, focus. All right, so then I picked that one up. That was on a pre-order, and I had pre-ordered it like a month or two before it came out. I just thought, set it and forget it. So when it came in the mail, I was like, oh, I forgot it, yay! So as you can see, I was happy to get that. Okay, I'll just get this one out the way. This was part of an Ignatius Press order, since we're talking about the religion and Catholicism. I had heard really good things about this. Again, I've picked up a bunch of books lately, written about or written by Pope Benedict XVI, Joseph Ratzinger. He is an outstanding Catholic theologian. Might not have been the best pope, but I mean, I don't know. I'm not Catholic, so I can't really pontificate. Pontificate. I see what I did there. Okay. Oh my gosh, it's been a long day. So I picked up this through Ignatius Press. This is his introduction to Christianity. Not that I need one. I am very well steeped in Christianity, but sometimes it's just fun to read different. I've got, Raymond E. Brown's Introduction to Christianity. I've got so many introductions to Christianity. It's like, why do I have it when I've been a Christian for a very long time? And I have studied it very, very well and daily. And I don't know. You can never get enough of a good thing. And Jesus Christ is a good thing. So I picked up Introduction to Christianity, Pope Benedict XVI, but Joseph Cardinal Ratzinger. Okay. Ignatius Press. I'm a very big growing library of these titles, and they all have a very nice spine with the name of the author in a nice red block print, or they'll change colors, but they all look like. So you can kind of tell when you go to my bookshelf. And I have a lot of the books in the master bedroom. You can see a whole line of them. They're all Ignatius Press books. So I thought I would pick up the introduction. What else do I need to say about it? You know who the guy is. All right. And this book is a solid and contemporary discussion of the fundamental Christian mysteries by a highly regarded theologian. And of course, I like to read it from a different perspective. In this case, it would be the Roman Catholic school of thought. So we'll see. Why not? Introduction to Christianity. Have it. I thought I just bought a bunch of stuff that I don't think I've shown yet either. I think it's part of another haul that I need to show you, but I have more from Ratzinger. So stay tuned or not. Okay. Now we're going to move over to, I've got a little mixture here. And I have a fun book at the end that luckily Martine is not in attendance for this video, because you would hear the hue and cry of disgust. I'm going to save that for last, just so you'll stick around. Hopefully you will. Okay. I have several of this World War II historian's books. He is well known. It's Anthony Beevor, or Beaver. I tried getting this book in it's been out for a long time. I tried getting it used in a hard copy, and the copy I received was just trash. And I was just like, give me my money back. This was not a good experience of third-hand, or buying from third parties online. So this came up in, where did I get it? It was super cheap. I don't remember where I got it. Might have been Book Outlet, might have been something. No, I think it was just off Amazon. Decided to get it. Brand new. Only has a little dot on there. But I thought, let's go with the paperback. It's a Penguin. It's a Penguin history. But this is his classic, which I've been wanting to dive into this battle for a while now. I mean, all the way back since when I bought that hardcover. I'm like, I still haven't read it, and I want to read it. And this is Stalingrad, baby. Antony Beevor's Stalingrad, The Fateful Siege, 1942 to 1943. And in fact, on one of my favorite history podcasts, The Rest is History, with Tom Holland and, is it Dominic? I can't believe I'm spacing on that guy's name. I just picked up a book recently by a guy named Dominic Green, so now that's screwing me up to trying to remember the other guy's name, but I think it was Dominic something. But the rest is history, and you can find it on Apple, iTunes, wherever you can find podcasts. It's outstanding. They have a two-part, their most recent ones are on Stalingrad. They have a two-part discussion about Stalingrad, and gosh, it was perfect timing because I was already ordering this book. And they're interviewing another author who's got a new book coming out about the Pavlov's Tower or Pavlov's House, which was like one of the towers that the Soviets and the Germans were fighting over. So I'd like to check out that book when it comes out too. But for now, I'm like, let's go ahead and get this paperback version. Look at how this orange throws the whole lighting off. It's very bright. You'll never miss it on the shelf. It'll probably go with my Richard Evans series up there, which I'm about to show you some more books of his I picked up. And they're all going to have that orange cover or that orange spine. But anyway, so I got the book on Stalingrad. It says here, the Battle of Stalingrad was not only the psychological turning point of World War II, it also changed the face of modern warfare. Historians and reviewers worldwide have hailed Antony Beevor's magisterial Stalingrad as the definitive account of World War II's most harrowing battle, and that's why I need to read it. In August 1942, Hitler's huge Sixth Army reached the city that bore Stalin's name. In the 5-month siege that followed, the Russians fought to hold Stalingrad at any cost. Then, in an astonishing reversal, encircled and trapped their Nazi enemy. This battle for the ruins of a city cost more than 1 million lives. Stalingrad conveys the experience of soldiers on both sides, fighting in inhuman conditions, and of civilians trapped on an urban battlefield. What does that make you think of? Antony, it's like the roles have been reversed. The Russians today might be considered the Nazis of, right? And the Ukrainians might be considered, okay. You got it. You know where I'm going. Antony Beevor has interviewed survivors and discovered completely new material in a wide range of German and Soviet archives, including prisoner interrogations and reports of desertions and executions. As a story of cruelty, courage, and human suffering, Stalingrad is unprecedented and unforgettable. So, picking this one up in paperback, I have a couple of the other of Antony Beevor's books. I have D-Day. I think I have his Battle of Arnhem. I think I do. But I noticed on Book Outlet they had marked down other soft cover versions like this of some of his other titles, like The Fall of Berlin, 1945. What was the other one I wanted to get? Oh, he wrote a history on the Spanish Civil War, which I want to get. So that might be a haul that's coming soon. I haven't pulled the trigger on that particular shopping cart, but I saw that they have a lot of Antony Beevor's titles on Book Outlet marked down, and everything is 15% off, usually almost all the time. So they're like $6 or $7, these soft covers. So you know what? I might just round out my library of Beevor titles. I just need to do one more inventory just to make sure what I have by him, so I'm not buying duplicates. But Stalingrad I know I don't have because I gave away that wrecked hardcover copy. I just either donated it or disposed of it because it was just trashed. Okay, so the next book, I just picked this up off of Amazon because, and I'll tell you why. I recently read a book and wrote a review, a long-form review of it for the Saber and Scroll Journal, of which I am a part of. I am on the editorial board, but I also contribute book reviews from time to time. Should be coming out in I think our August issue or July issue, which is set to be. We post things on our website or the Saber and Scroll Scholastica website on a kind of like a rolling publication date. So when things roll in, we post things and things are fresh. But then we will bind them all together and you can find a hard copy. And I think that might be available in September off of Amazon. And I think I've showed you the Saber and Scroll Journal. Anyway, so the book was Screams of the Drowning. which kind of encompassed a young German soldier's beginnings as a soldier in the Wehrmacht and the Frontier Corps from, I think, late 1942, but mostly 1943 through the end of the war. So it screams of the drowning, but it encompasses more than just this one event. But he was on the Wilhelm Gustloff. And what is the Wilhelm Gustloff, you ask? I will tell you. Most people don't know. When you think of the worst maritime disaster in recorded human history, what do you think of? You think of Titanic? You think of Lusitania? It was the Wilhelm Gustloff. And I found a little biography by a historian I have read and reviewed before, Roger Morehouse, who wrote Poland 1939 here in the States. That's the title that came out with here. But it was the Wilhelm Gustloff. So the book I read, Screams of the Drowning, hang on, let me show you the cover of that. Okay, so the review I've written is not up yet. It's not. I think it's in editing right now, but it will be posted soon. And of course, I will share that in all my social media channels, as you know. Little shameless plug for Peg over here to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. All my deets are in the comment section below, or in my banner on my YouTube page in the upper right-hand corner. You'll see all the little social media icons. Anyway, I try to post everything that I review, or at least let you know where it's been posted, so you can go check out reviews. But that one's not up yet. But however, I did read this book and wrote a review. It's The Screams of the Drowning, From the Eastern Front to the Sinking of the Gustloff. So here's another image of that ship. Now, the interesting thing, and as you can see, the foreword is by Roger Morehouse. So of course I was curious. Roger Morehouse seemed to have so many details about something I had never heard of before. And he does call that out in his foreword, that most people, you don't hear about this, because it did happen during the waning days of the war. But the loss of life was appalling. And that's what makes it the worst maritime disaster ever. It was this ship. And so I went searching for like a good, there's another book I want to get. I didn't realize it was out there by, I could look her up right now, but let me just tell you right now. The book's name is Death on the Baltic, or Death in the Baltic. And it's about the sinking. But I like Roger Morehouse's writing. It's a slim little volume, but it's one I can get through. I think it was $5. It's $5 right now on Amazon. I think it's still available at $5. But I kind of want to, it's just very, double space type, or maybe even triple space. I don't even know. But that's why it's only $5. But it's a little something to wet your whistle until I can get my hands on the Death on the Baltic book. But the Wilhelm Gustloff was a, converted ocean liner that the Nazis used to, when in the beginning they used it in the good days, not the good days, but when they were winning early on in the war, it was an ocean liner that they would kind of send off troops to, who were on leave, to somewhere where they could just, be treated to a little R&R. It soon turned into a, hospital transport ship. Then it would carry, military arms and stuff. But by this time, when this book kind of covers part of what happened here, in 1945, in January of 1945, it was in the Baltic, and people were, the German army was being overrun by the Soviets, so they were fleeing. Everyone in front of that Red Army was fleeing for their lives, including these soldiers, and including this one guy, Hans Fackler, not Klaus Wilman. This is the confusing part. This is kind of like called a memoir once removed. Hans Fackler told his story to Klaus Wilman, who was a journalist. So Klaus Wilman turned his story into this little slim volume of his reminiscences. So anyway, but Hans Fackler, who died in 2019, so shared that story, but his is the first account of a soldier. He was a wounded, very gravely wounded soldier on board the Wilhelm Gustloff when a Soviet submarine slammed 3 torpedoes into its port side. Now, the Gustloff was only supposed to comfortably accommodate, I think, like 1,900 souls. And the scale of the refugee status, like just the scale of the refugees clamoring to just get out of the way of those Soviets, because when the Red Army was coming, bad things were going to happen. So there's a lot of children, a lot of women. There were wounded soldiers. They had packed 10,000 people onto the ship. Not good. They weren't too far away when the sub found them, because they were running their lights when they shouldn't have, and everything else. So 10,000 people were aboard, and 1,200 were rescued from the water. So over 9,000 casualties. 9,000 people lost their lives. Worst maritime disaster in history. So I wanted to pick up a book, read a little bit more from Roger Morehouse on his take on it, since he did write the foreword to this book that I'll be sharing my review with you guys soon once that's posted, and it's free. You can access it online at the Saber and Scroll Journal when it is posted. I'll let you know. So some interesting history. How many of you knew about the Gustloff? How many of you have read about it? Tell me below in the comments. It was a brand new experience for me, and just really brought home the horrors of war, especially when it just so many, and like they say probably over 5,000 of those casualties were children. So they went into very icy waters. It was January in the Baltic. It's not good. Okay, and then this was a gift. I didn't even pick this up. This is a gift from my good friend out there in the booktube world. Well, she's not a booktuber, but she's been a wonderful friend that I've made over my time here at BookTube, and she just sent me an instant message, and you can do that too on Instagram or wherever if you follow me on my Facebook's the History Shelf page. Anyway, she sent me an instant message and said, "Hey, I'm at this place called Ollie's, which is, I guess, a used bookstore emporium." Took a picture of this book, and she goes, "This is a signed copy. Would you be interested in it?" And I said, "Yes, I would." And she sent it to me. I'm so tickled. It's the first time I've ever received a book from any one of you guys. And thank you, Mary. My good friend Mary. I will protect your last name. You know what I'm saying? And I will return the favor tenfold. Now that, because I have your address, so that's going to happen. So, and I hadn't gotten this book yet, and I kept meaning to, because I have read Tom Clavin's works, and I think Bob Drury too. But this is Blood and Treasure, Daniel Boone and the Fight for America's First Frontier, signed edition. You know what I'm saying? And there's even a nifty little, I think, Mary, did you know that I got a free little, or did you put this in here? I don't know. Maybe you did. I got a bookmark. Very beautiful, like end piece and paper artwork here. So yeah, surprisingly enough, I hadn't gotten this book yet. She said it was $5, $4.99. Thank you. It says here, it is the mid-18th century, and in the 13 colonies founded by Great Britain, anxious colonists desperate to conquer and settle North America's first frontier beyond the Appalachian Mountains commence a series of bloody battles. These violent conflicts are waged against the Native American tribes whose lands they covet, the French, and the mother country itself, in an American Revolution destined to reverberate around the world. This is the setting of Blood and Treasure, and the guide to this epic narrative is America's first and arguably greatest pathfinder, Daniel Boone. Not the coonskin cap-wearing caricature of popular culture, but the flesh-and-blood frontiersman and Revolutionary War hero whose explorations into the forested frontier beyond the Great Mountains would become the stuff of legend. Now, thanks to painstaking research by 2 award-winning authors, the story of the brutal birth of the U.S. is told through the eyes of both the ordinary and larger-than-life men and women, white and red, who witnessed it. So I'm pretty stoked about that. I read Tom Clavin's. Well, there's the autograph. What? Very neat. Tom Clavin. I have read his. Well, I do have Halsey's Typhoon, which I still need to read. But those two worked on that together. And then I think Tom Clavin wrote Tombstone and a bunch of other kind of like Old Westy kind of histories. So, very excited to read about old Daniel Boone, and not the coonskin cap wearing caricature of popular culture. Say that 5 times fast. All right. think I'm doing pretty well. So thank you, Mary. Shout out to you and yours. Thank you so much. And then I picked up. I'm still saving the last book for. I'm saving it for last to keep you here. But the last one is the one that Martine will roll her eyes at. Many of you might be guessing, Margaret Thatcher?
No.
Who else can it be? You know who it is. All right. But in the meantime, I wanted to stock up on 3 back issues of a new history magazine that I've been really, or I guess you'd call it a journal of sorts. It's perfect bound. It's kind of printed in the UK, or it's definitely a British, or it comes from there. I can't speak. But I have several of their other issues, and I'm trying to get in there. I'm trying to see if I can wangle my way in there to do a book review. I do have the editor's contact info, and we have talked. I wasn't able to do one of the books he had offered up for a book review. Also, the book wasn't history, so I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do with that. But I'm trying to see if I can get back in. But it's a great no-frills type of magazine. There's no ads. It's just white paper, texts, and I'm down with it. But really nice covers. So these are issues 7, 8, and 9, because time elapsed when we were getting ready to move and sell the house, and I just lost track of these issues. So issue 7 of Aspects of History. I had to have it because it was a kind of cover story on Powers and Thrones, where Richard Foreman interviews Dan Jones, and I do have that book. And I like Dan Jones. So, and as you can see, I mean, lots of really cool stuff. You got James Holland on the Sherwood Rangers, Margaret Macmillan on war, 5 questions answered. So I've shown you this before. It's no frills. Fine by me. No ads, no things falling out of it, no subscription tabs. All you have to do is go to Amazon, and you can buy I like print. I like print. They do offer these on you can get these electronically on your Kindle, your any type of reading device. As you can see here, it says Aspects of History is the new magazine and website dedicated to history and historical fiction. We believe that history should be a source of argument and entertainment. Different voices have different stories to tell. Each issue contains articles, interviews, short stories, and book reviews by established and emerging writers. The past isn't dead. It's not even past. History relates and resonates. Yeah, so check out Aspects of History if you're interested. And I think you can buy each issue if you want a physical copy, printed copy. They're about $7 or $8. So sometimes a little cheaper. Then I picked up issue 8. Who doesn't love Bernard Cornwell? And it's a great interview with Bernard Cornwell. So I'm like, these are things I would like to keep and save. So that's why I wanted these hardcovers. And I like the beautiful artwork they put on the front. So again, this was issue 8. I think issue 9 just came out. It's not ready yet on Amazon for print. To order the print copy. But I think issue 9. No wait, issue 10. I think issue 10 is the one that I can't get a hold of just yet. But it doesn't take too long before they're up on Amazon and you can get them. So I just went on Amazon one day. I said, you know what? I'm 3 issues behind on this. Let me go ahead and order all 3. So I did. And so then we have issue 9, which is Winston Churchill. What a surprise. And then we have Douglas Murray, because he's got that new book out, War on the West. So I think that is perfect. And I'm a big fan of Douglas Murray. So, and I will be reading War on the West. I think I showed you that book, and I got to find out where did I place it? I think it's on the shelf behind me, but that's one I want to get to real soon. Anyway, I love reading interviews with the authors. It's kind of like just, they changed their font type. Issue 9 is, oh boy, I have to get my reading glasses out. Oh, they changed the font size, I think. Help me out, guys. Yeah, yeah, it's smaller font in issue 9, so they must be trying to maybe make more pages. I don't know. Got over 100 pages in here. Um, like here's what a book review would look like. Sometimes they might run over, as you can see. I don't know, they could probably use that space better, but there's Dominus by Stephen Saylor, and that review is by Camilla Bolton. All right, so very cool. Anyway, so if I wrote a review, that would be how it would appear. It's just simple stuff, but it's awesome. Article on the Normans. We've got Historical Heroes, George Washington, Commander-in-Chief by David O. Stewart. Just good stuff. Really neat. So, aspects of history, check them out. So I'm all caught up, except for the most recent one, issue 10, which I will get as soon as it's available in print. And now, without further ado, the book that I dare only show you when Martine is not around. It's the new book by America's most handsome thriller writer, the one, the only, Brad Thor. This is his new book, Rising Tiger, a thriller. Now, I kind of fell off reading some of his, mostly because, Martine, I have to read it in the bathtub or where I'm alone. There is our author. He's handsome. There was a series on 2 seasons worth on Netflix called Upload. And the lead guy in Upload, I have got a little mini crush on him too. I guess I like guys that look kind of like this guy and the guy in Upload. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the hair. You've got good hair, dude. Really good hair. Just if Martine watches this, she's going to be like rolling her eyes like, oh my God. She's got lots of little nicknames for him. She pretends to be outraged, but, you know, it's just all fun and games. There he is. Sorry. So he's written like 20 books in the series of Scott Harvath, who, you know, was a Secret Service guy. Then he turns into a counter-terrorism expert. I mean, I'm sure he's changed job titles a lot. But you know what? I like to support Brad Thor, and so I decided to buy the book. It was half off on Amazon already. It was only $14, and I was like, I'll support the man. Rising Tiger. I think it's set in India this time around. Now, I'll be showing you very soon. I have a book outlet book haul. I've got the book stacked here. I just need to make the video. They have reissued some of his books in a nice wider soft cover edition. I don't like those tall, narrow mass market. I don't like mass market paperbacks, period. I had gotten rid of some of Brad Thor's books that were in the mass market paperback style because I just didn't like it. It was not good reading. So I think I'll be starting the 6th book in the series. So yes, I'm behind. But I bought a bunch that were marked down from Book Outlet. She may or may not be in on that book haul video. I'm guessing maybe not, because all we're going to hear is the jokes and the nicknames that she has for him. Many of you might find very amusing, and they are. She's very clever. But I bought some and I'll show you, the books are really beautiful. Like the new softcover editions are very nice. But in the meantime, I wanted to support my guy, Brad Thor, Rising Tiger. And I pretty much, you know, because the series that I enjoy, the characters that I enjoy, I will buy the whole series. I've got William Kent Kruger's series of the Cork O'Connor detective series over here to my left. I love Elizabeth George's Inspector Lindley series. I have other series that I enjoy, but Brad Thor is another major one that I'm trying to have all the books. So anyway, now we're at a 40-minute point. Those are some of my random pickups, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I do thank you for staying, for subscribing, for liking, doing whatever you want to do. But thanks for joining me here on the History Shelf. I can speak. There's the camera telling me it's time to go. Again, thanks for joining me on the History Shelf, guys. Until next time, be well. Take care.